Greetings and welcome back everybody as we're coming to you live with Game 2 of High Flying Deep Diving Volleyball Action from Calvin University. Here in Game 2 we have the white team for the Michigan State Spartans, their sort of B team or second level, going up against that same caliber over there on the Calvin side. Now after we had just come off the back of a big-time defeat by the Calvin Knights over the Michigan State Spartans hailing from East Lansing, I'm not quite sure what to expect with this one right here. Largely the same players from the Calvin squad will be in this one for the Knights, or at least those who were subjected to the bench in that early portion. So we'll keep an eye on that and see whether their exerted energy in the previous game has anything to do with the outcome right here. With that being said, we have B Team Michigan State and B Team Calvin here in the 8:30 game as a part of the exhibition series that is being played here from Grand Rapids at the Calvin University Fieldhouse. The energy is quite a whole lot different than it was in game number 1, seeing to it that the B teams are squaring off here. What you can see as we move our camera over into the corner is the idea that early on, that entire bleacher on the right side of your screen was set up to a point where it was packed full, and I mean jammed when I say that. But now it seems as if there's only a speckling of what had been there preceding this one. With that being said, we have Michigan State Calvin. The two B teams are squaring off here in the nightcap from Calvin University. As we get it going live, it's Michigan State to send it away. Now it's held up by the Spartans and Mohammed Al-Matroud, a graduate student outside hitter. That being said, it's 1-0 Calvin. There, the ensuing point won by the Knights. This one around for Roberts. There's Christian Roberts. Now into the back. Mohammed brings it up. There, Michigan State has a chance. Roberts sends it down and brings the energy. That's what he'll do for you. Much like a Clark Jocelyn of the world for this Michigan State white team, it'll be the Roberts brothers who feed off each other. That being said, it's 1-1 right here. So, we return here as Michigan State wins an emphatic point. It's 2-1. Spartans lead over Calvin. Away to serve for Michigan State. There it's Deegan Moore. Contests at the net, mounted by the Knights. They swing it back around. Moore dives and collects. There it's Calvin sending it over. Juna Kim. Now into the back for Pfeiffer, who just played a game preceding this one. So it's evident that some of the squad will be having a off night tonight in the nightcap, and some of them will be competing here, as now it's 3-1 Michigan State. Deegan Moore back to serve. There, he gets that one. A drive there just wide. It's 4-1 as Michigan State is awarded a point once again. And rather, no, that's my apology. It did hit the deck for the Knights. So instead, it's 3-2. Now it's a 0.1 by the Knights here, 3-3 as we continue on through set number 1. We're still very early in this one, and it is hard to get a read on the game early. The primary indicator was serve and receive in the first game, Now, though, it looks like it's that middle portion as Al-Matrud fires one through. Now, the joyous Spartans celebrate in a big way. 4-3, right here on MCV TV. Now, the first sub of the game. Chris Hansen is in for the Spartans. Coach Keenan Edelman for the Spartan squad hesitates none at all to go deep into his bench and see what they can do, working on different lineup combinations. As there, it's 5-3. The Spartans are up by 2 in this one. The libero for them and Logan Cooper, the senior. Now it's sent down to the floor where it's tipped and won by Calvin. The set, nice by Hansen, swung on. That's a big hack there. From Arnold Kimon, though it's rejected right at the high point. Now 5-5. Here it's taken on by Moore and set up around to Roberts, the high point by the Knights athlete Ben Tamerling. He is another one who played in the A-team game that just concluded. Calvin leads here. Now it's Hansen, the set upward. Then it's swung on by Roberts. Now the return, walking the line. Does it fall in? Yes, it does. Big time hit there from the back line for the Knights, resulting in 7-5. This one here, deep. Isaac Suh touches this one. Now it's Hansen, up and around. Moore, that one is smoked down the line, but is held on to. Now around, Hansen, there for Roberts. Suh holds on to it. This one sent in Jonathan Pfeiffer. To me, it is surprising that Pfeiffer is competing in this one. After all, he certainly, and I mean certainly, had his largest impact felt on the previous game between Calvin and Michigan State. As we move to 8-5 here on MCV TV, there's one that's lost by Calvin off the serve. It's 8-6. This one high there and swung on, released, a little bit shallow in terms of attack angle, sends Ben Tamerling's spike there into the net. 8-7 Michigan State hanging around. This one misses. 9-7 Calvin. Now back there is Juna Kim, the freshman film and media major and defensive specialist. There, Kim's serve comes up short, 9-8, as that's what we're having, folks. This sort of game that definitely can be won from any portion of the court and have its ebbs and flows, and not so much a game of runs, but rather a return of shots, 1-1. There, Tamerling works this one from the outside to the center. That cross motion on the swing does beautifully for him. 10-8 now, Calvin up by 2 and continuing on here in set number 1. Now it's Isaac Van Essen who's back for the Knights. Held up by Suh. There's Pfeiffer. The Spartans return fire. There, 11-8 Calvin. who certainly is coming off of the high of that energetic and eventually victorious effort by the Knights in the earlier A-team game. Oh, it's set up nicely there by Michigan State, and they get one to fall just out of reach of anybody there through the defensive line. 11-9. Arnold Kimon serves it away. That one, picture perfect, falls to the floor with velocity. 12-9 here as we're exchanging points, seemingly what we've been doing all day here so far. So, Michigan State does win one here to get back to within 2 at 12-10. And now it's Hansen. This one sent away into the back portion. The Knights set it up nicely. Now it's Roberts, Hansen, then Roberts. Held on to by Calvin. Now, one that spins in there from Jonathan Wilkins. Hansen over there, Roberts, this one held up. The longest rally of the game is ensuing here between these two clubs. Now it's back around. The Knights continually in pursuit right here. Roberts, this one does not find the floor until it spins off the hand there of the libero, Isaac Van Essen, and hits the deck. 12-11. This one continues to be ultra close. Though it's a Hansen float serve that spins long, 13-11. Mohamed Al-Traoud holds it up. There, it's Roberts who misses and showcases that indeed it was him who's guilty of that mistake right there and giving ownership to his club. A good leadership trait to have is that accountability and ownership, one that this team has been built on for the years so far. 14-11, Calvin leads by 3 as we've crossed the midway point of set number 1. Pfeiffer with just enough to work its way over the top. Roberts around, and even though he did show accountability, that one seems to have found its way into the crevice of his mental state here as he misses that one. And now it's 16-11. You know, I will note one thing. The scoreboard has taken a few jumps recently that I'm not quite sure how to explain, but it's 16-12 as we speak. Moore, that one, high and arcing, lofts its way in there. Now around and down. Point to the Knights. 17-12. They continue throughout their business right here. Now it's Joe Vanderwoerd back. For the Knights, this one given right back. Where it's 17-13, that might be the jolt of energy this Michigan State white squad needs. Sent in there by Logan Cooper, but not before it's nailed down there by the Knights and Ben Tamerling. 18-13. We continue here as Calvin is mighty close to closing this one out in set number 1. Hansen, there, Roberts, that one's driven, tipped, out of bounds, Spartans. There's a recipe. Now, if you can be on time and on target, no matter where it's placed, you have a chance, a slim one, albeit, but a chance to earn your way right here. That being said, the point appears as if it was awarded to Calvin. And rather, no, it's a scoring error there, so it will be 19-14. There we are, as Michigan State earned one back to get to 14 off of the miss drive there to the high side. Oh, what a play by Roberts there. This time, it's Braden Roberts, the high-energy junior, who gets in on the action. 19-15 we go, as the white team for the Spartans is trying to hold on here for dear life. Mohammed Al-Charoud sends it in there. (19-15), Tamerling times one up, and now, with the mightiness of that hack, that one's down to the floor, and it's 20-15. The Knights lead by 5, and have 5 to go before we conclude this first set. Now it's around. Roberts hesitates. There in the air. Point one off the tip by Calvin. It became clear that what Roberts was waiting to do there was see if it would fall out of bounds, but he touched it on the way down. That touching was a point for Calvin. We'll head to a timeout and say thank you for tuning in. On MCV TV, this is Brian Rector coming to you live from Calvin University. So at 21-15, Calvin is inching their way ever so close to the completion of set number 1. That being said, back to serve for them will be Isaac Van Essen, the sophomore, who's majoring in civil engineering. Now it's Deegan Moore. This one rejected. High point done elegantly by the Knights there. 22-15. This one sent on there and held up by the Spartans. They try and continue to hold it up. They do successfully. Cooper there. A block that misses out of bounds. Point goes there to the Spartans. 22-16. Whoa! Hey now! What a drop shot there by the Knights, and Gabe Laughlin, the freshman who's majoring in speech pathology. There, he found one to the floor. It's 23-16, furthering the stronghold that the Knights have on this game 1. There it is. Moore thrust one there into the mid portion. Now it's held up. Ryan Geisler holds it up. Now around. There, point Spartans. A net thrown infraction there by the Knights, or rather, no, I'm sorry, it was a point Calvin, so we're at 24-16. It did appear to me that the net was clear, and indeed it was. You know what? No. It was 23-17, so here we are, continuing on a 6-point deficit for the Spartans. They have the server's court. One slips off the hand there of Isaac Sue. The Spartans win another as they are showing a burst of life here towards the tail end of set one. The question becomes, is it too little too late? Here as Hansen nails one there. Point Spartans off the inbound drive by Hansen. 23-19, and Hansen retains the server's court. Up top they go. It's Deegan Moore in culmination there with Jonathan Wilkins. 23-20, Michigan State blocks there to get back to within 3. Hansen, that one off the hand there of Sue. 23-21, and a charge timeout. The Spartans are scratching, clawing, and fighting their way here to the finish of set one. So here we are now. As Hansen sends it away, the Spartans win again. 23-22. This one has taken an absolute turn right here. It's down to just 1 for a deficit. Hansen now has it again. And that misses. So, some confusion setting in. That was Joe Vandewerd there at the net front for the Knights. Fanned on that one, 23-23. Set up and around by Sue. He misses that one. Long, it's 24-23. Michigan State has turned this thing on its head. Hansen, this one misses short. He'll be frustrated with that as now it's 24-24, but quite the tear he went on right there. What he needed to do to earn his team's way back squarely into the center of competition. It's Pfeiffer, this one pounded into the back end. Now, Roberts swings it around. Set up, Sue, who's changed sides. He's still lethal. That one driven, but held up. Now it's around. There, the tip. This one falls just inside the line. 25-24. We have excellent action and exhibition-wise as now Michigan State will head to a timeout. There's one that Michigan State will win at the net. 25-25. Now we've stretched into extra points here. So Deegan Moore misses a serve that's shallow, and as we saw in game number 1 between Michigan State A, the green team, and Calvin's A, Michigan State has been errant on their serving. Here's one that El Traoud holds up. (26-26). Can this be any more close? The answer, frankly, is I don't think so. We've extended already past the time of the traditional set conclusion at 25, and we have to win by 2 here. This one up into the rafters, tough to track. They're off the basketball hoop, and that's the price you pay for being in a gym situation like this. That's the same thing we saw quite a few times back in East Lansing at the Back to the Hardwood Classic. 27-26. This one misses, so it's 27-27. Here it is, away from the Knights, taken on by the Spartans. Right here, without hesitation, Tamerlane rises, fires, and flings one there into the midsection where no Spartan was residing. 28-27, Calvin. There's Sue. Altrude. This one pounded down there by Roberts, and the celebration to boot. 28-28. This one keeps growing closer and closer. This one set up by the Knights. The Spartans have it. This one into the rafters, swung on there by Kimon. Now around for State. Kimon blocks. Oh yeah! 29-28. Here's a serve away from the Spartans. 29-28. Drop shot held there nicely by them. Now it's Moore, the slasher. One at the net by Tamerlane. Now it's 29 all. A marathon first set is what we have on our hands here. Now at 29 all. It's up for Roberts. Come on, met there at the net. Tamerlane, big again. 30-29. Now 31-29. There's the conclusion of set number 1, folks. Calvin wins by 2. Michigan State fought hard and continued to chomp away. That being said, there we see a finish. It's one of those sets where you'd like to see that go on forever, but when somebody gets to the 2-point threshold, there's the conclusion. We'll be back in a couple minutes with set number 2. So we're back now as a part of exhibition game action between the Spartans and the Knights. Here in Grand Rapids, we've had a pleasant time as a part of this exhibition series here at Calvin University. We're fortunate to have gracious hosts here today as we continue on through Game 2, the nightcap, as it were. So after a marathon first set between these two clubs, concluding at 31-29, we'll see what they have left in the tank here as we are just about to get set number 2 underway. Now this one, contrary to the first one, is a 3-set game as opposed to a 5-set game that we had played earlier, one that was between the green team and the A team for this Calvin squad. We're taking a minute to get things sorted out here, and we'll step away. Now we're back in and ready to rumble. It's Gabe Laughlin who spins this one right there into the net. 1-0, Michigan State leads here. Now this one driven in there and held up. Now it's Roberts. That's strong. 2-0. The Spartans are starting quickly, seemingly releasing their frustration and anger after set number 1 here quickly to establish themselves. Now the floater, held on by the Knights, sent around. Altrude holds it up. Here we are, the response mounted by the Knights, just out of reach. 3-0, State. Into the game is libero Quinn Strasbaugh. Held up by Muhammad. There, it's another win for the Spartans. 4-0 they go, as this is a mighty impressive start to the beginning of a set. This one around and down from the top portion there, Daniel Kim. No, excuse me, Joe Vanderwerd. For 4-1 here as Michigan State appears to have a stronghold, at least early, over this set number 2, but as we saw early, that can change in an instant. There's one by Roberts, unleashing right there. Sends it right into the outstretched arm of that blocker. Now it's the Spartans. Altrude and Roberts combine to save one. Oh, it's around and down. There's Isaac Sue. 4-3, Calvin, as we said, could happen, simply reestablish themselves in winning 3 points in a row. This one punched over there by the Knights and Vanderwerd. Point Knights, this one, the first 4 points of the set were Michigan State's to have. Now it's 4 for the Knights. Up by the Spartans, sent deep into the corner, touched on there by Juna Kim. though it's 5-4 the Spartans. Now it's around, battling through the center. There, a drop, done well by Jonathan Wilkins. 6-4, Michigan State leading by 2. The recipe there, and has proven to work as Deegan Moore sends it away, touched on by the Knights. There's one held up by Strasbaugh. Now it's Tamerling who swings on and misses. Michigan State leads by 3. This is following a similar trend to what we had seen in set number 1. And we'll see if Calvin has something in their back pocket as we continue to move along. Though, quickly it's 7-5 as Michigan State fires there an errant serve. It's Sue, driven and held up by Moore. Now back around, Strasbaugh. Working high above the floor there, the outside. Now an attempt to get to it. There, it was Juna Kim who was on that series. Michigan State wins another. A tip. Wow, that's done well. And just outside of the range of motion there for the diving Spartan. Particularly, that was Ryan Geisler. Now it's 8-6. Point Spartans right here. So at 9-6, we have a short timeout, it appears, where we'll take a step away, but this has been Brian Rector on MSU. So, welcome back, everybody, as Away to serve is Chris Hansen. The Spartans up by 3 at 9-6, looking to return strike here in set 2. Though a drop shot played nicely there by Gabe Lachlan. 9-7, Calvin down by 2. The Spartans quick to answer back there over the top of the net. And once again, the key element here is net front presence. It's 10-7. And Mohammed Al-Matroud, there it's one again, 11-7. Al-Matroud is back with it right here. This one ranging over was Sue, the drive wide by him. And now we're to 12-7, nearing the midway point of set number 2. Strasbaugh, now Hansen to the outside. Moore just misses, 12-8. Now it's Moore. What does he have in store? Strasbaugh, Hansen, Roberts, drive. Held on to. Hansen again. Roberts working the line. Down. Oh, my goodness. There's Roberts. (13-8) right here as we're continuing on, and we've crossed the midway point in set 2. Serve there from Alex Crease. Now it's Michigan State, 14-8. Roberts around. Their point goes to the Knights, who needed one desperately at this juncture. 14-9. Oh, that's dug up by Al-Matroud. Then it's Roberts looking to keep it up. No can do. 14-10. There, a win by Calvin as we come to a timeout by the Spartans. 14-11, this one inching closer. We're back in action here, set number 2, after the first was taken by the Knights of Calvin, where it's Gabe Laughlin this one sent away. The Spartans win one there. Over the top goes Jonathan Wilkins. 15-11 is where we stand in the current state. And we're continuing to inch closer towards set number 2 conclusion. Set up nicely by Sue. The Knights get one there, and hopefully, in their case, that reestablishes some confidence and some enthusiasm. Now, down just 3, and seeing that this Michigan State team is maybe appearing to run out of gas as Strasbaugh tries to catch up to that one, but cannot quite do so as that was well placed, hard to defend. 15-13 is where we stand. There's one, met at the net, sent down, where it's 15-14, and just like that, they're back to within 1, and have been churning their way through this one. There's one by the sliding over into position, Roberts. 16-14. Deegan Moore sends that one away. The drop held up by the Spartans, and Ryan Geisler. Now it's sent down. Calvin gets that one. 16-15 off the block there by Daniel Kim. Serve comes up short there, and quite the opposite from what you're looking for if you're Calvin, trying to earn your way back to even. Now down 2 and closing the gap in terms of the end of this set. There's one that's contested, dug up, and won eventually by Strasbaugh. 18-15 right here. Strasbaugh misses, and that one given back to Calvin may just be the jolt they need. 18-16 right here. Sent away here by Jonathan Pfeiffer, who continues his work on the day after a highly contested one. Now it's Sue, who tries to hold that one up, but runs out of room. 19-16, Michigan State leads. So, now down 3, the Knights are trying desperately to hold on to this one. They're contested at the net by Kreese. Hansen holds it up, done nicely, but just out of touch. Calvin wins one, and we are back to 2, 19-17. You can tell that the Knights have been lurking in the shadows here for much of the second set. As there is one given up by the Spartans, it's now back to 1 at 19-18. this one could indeed go any way. Now it's Juna Kim who's back and ready to serve. This one hits the top piece of the net. 20-18, Michigan State leads by 2. And when you're in the late portion of a set at this rate, right here, it's easier to say than to do, but it's essential to land your serves. Almatrud sends this one away. Now crease. Drop, dug by Hansen. Wow! Rejected, Spartans. And rather, we're at 2019. That's my apology. It did appear as if Michigan State had won that one off the block attempt. There's an issue for Calvin as it's 21-19 before they could even get the serve off. Strasbaugh is subbed out. Now it's Crease who will serve it away. Up by 2, the Spartans are in certainly an okay spot. (22-19). Here we go as that one was contested and sent back by Michigan State. Crease into the back third, hoisted up there. Can Almatrud get to it? Yes, he can. In desperation, what a great play there from the Knights. Held up. Oh, this is unbelievable. Held up again. High IQ play by the back end player. That's Isaac Van Essen. Michigan State wins again. 23-19 and a charge timeout. They have a chance to get one back here and lead us into a third set. So here we go. At 23-19, we're back en route to the end of set 2. That one misses. State point. 24-19. Now it's set point. Here go the Spartans and Alexander Crease. They have held on to this one since going up 4-0. That one hits the pole. Now the set has come to an end. 25-15. The Spartans win to draw even at 1-1. We're on the way to a finale third set. Don't go anywhere because this one is bound to be huge. Welcome back, everybody. Now we have an electric set number 3 coming to you live from Calvin University as a part of the nightcap game between the Michigan State white team and the Calvin B team. So we're at 1-1, just as we had referenced right there, with a chance here to have an epic set 3 just as the first two were. The first ended 31-29, and then the second ended 25-23. So, as you can see there, separated by 4 points across, or rather, separated by 0 points, a net 0, and only a 4-point differential across both sets. We're very tight here between these two squads. Michigan State in set number 2 started with the energy and the momentum at 4-0 and continued on that, improving by 1 point, but that being said, held on to what they had done early and maintained the status quo is how I would assess that situation. With that being said, we have more of a sprint to the finish line here, as now Michigan State and Chris Hansen sends it away. There it's up and over. Hansen says, this one, cross court. Oh, that's good. Jonathan Wilkins finishes one off, where it's 1-0. Now, Michigan State leads here. And especially when you're in a final set and you're going to 15 as opposed to 25, it's imperative to get off to a hot start. That one funnels its way home. 1-1 off the cross-court drive by the Knights. The float serve, Strasbaugh holds it up. Now there, it's around and down. Through the center goes Wilkins for another. The Spartans on top, 2-1. And it's Deegan Moore who has progressively throughout this one gotten better with his serving. There's one that's dug out and slotted right down the line in there for a 2-2 tie third set. Right here, a good opportunity for Calvin to open it up just as the Spartans had done in set number 2. Now it's Roberts, drive, and just long, they say. And rather, no, my apologies, it does fall home for a 3-2 advantage. The Spartans up by 1. And 12 points left to uncover here. Well, we can hear a pin drop in this atmosphere right now before it erupts. That one mishandled, and a win for the Spartans. 4-2, they're on top. After that one was attempted to be dug out by Isaac Van Essen. Though this one is missed by the Spartans, and that's been an issue. Should be 4-3. The scoreboard continues to read 3-3. In my understanding, though, Michigan State had been up by 2. So we'll continue to monitor that one. And maybe for now, just take that point for the Spartans off the board. So we're at 3-3 and staying uniform with the staff here. And it is 4-2. That is certainly not the only time today where we've had a disagreement between the staff there and the scoreboard. So the referees, once again, are being led to an adjudication period here between Calvin and Michigan State. The Spartans, up by 2 at 4-2, have 11 to go before closing out this one, compared to 13 over there by the Knights, the squad in white. So, continuing to try and figure out what has transpired in the last couple minutes here between Michigan State and Calvin, you wonder what a hiatus like this does to momentum. So here we are, and now it's 3-3 at this point. After all of that, the long period of adjudication between these blue-shirted referees here today. Now down in there's a situation that leads to a 1-point Michigan State lead at 4-3. Now back to serve away, Ryan Geisler. Geisler, that one's kind of weak over there, but does just enough to make the Knights work. Trying to avoid the tower, he does. There from the outside, and Chris Infante block Michigan State. 5-3, and now we're a third of the way done here. Now back is Ryan Geisler. As there, it's Michigan State once again. 6-3, we are continuing on here, and now, out of the questioning period, I'll call it, the Spartans have 3 straight and are looking to continue on this streak right here. Geisler sending it over. Now it's Sue, off center. This one held up by Moore. Now it's around the Spartans and Geisler. It's up by Infante. This one misses wide. Michigan State down to within 8. And a timeout called, just a 30-second one. 7-3 here, as now we're back in play. Out of the timeout, the Spartans lead by 4. And they win there as an issue in front of the net. 8-3, the Spartans have seized control. There was one missed wide. Calvin gets back down to within 4 here. Point Michigan State. They're a battle in front of the net, won by the Spartans. And you know what? If you're going to have a point that's highly contested in front of there and you don't come out of it because you put a ball down, it all depends on what you do and how you share the high IQ for the game. That was won by the Spartans because of solely positioning. As there it misses, and Michigan State goes up 10-4 with 5 to go. This one misses. Short arm there. Back down to 5 we go, as Will Berlage sent that one into the center of the net. This one missed off the side of the hand. Michigan State down to 4. Points remain. Berlage with the hammer. That one driven in there. 12-5. Michigan State has had it all. Here, they're about to win, or have a chance, I should say, to win 2 sets in a row to close this one out. Strasbaugh set up. There, the drop, hoisted by Michigan State. Now to the outside. That one's home. Oh, it's Infante. 13-5. Now a timeout with 2 left to go. Here it's all Michigan State. So now it's the Spartans who have 2 points before they can say they've closed this one out successfully here over Calvin, restoring order for a Michigan State squad who would go 1-1 on the night if that were to happen. There's a drive that Strasbaugh has trouble with. 13-6 right here. Deegan Moore holds that one up and just high enough to get over the net there. Now it's Strasbaugh. Set up, Moore around, blocked. The Spartans circling the wagons. There's one that's sent around and down. 14-6. Infante did a nice job to drive that one in there. Now it's a game point. So here it is. Hansen sends it away. Now up top, Strasbourg tries and cannot quite get there. 14-7. Keenan Edelman, head coach for Michigan State, egging on Strasbourg as if to say, well, how did you not quite get there? It was an incredible play and would have been spectacular. Strasbourg up there. Now Hansen. Roberts blocked. And, folks, do not believe that Calvin is done. Strasbourg, the Spartans, another chance. More, and there it is! The Spartans, off the tip, 15-8. There they go. And that concludes our game here. Michigan State wins 2-1. And now we'll improve to 1-1 on the day as a club. First result was a 3-1 Calvin victory over Michigan State, then a 2-1 in a three-set game. Michigan State over Calvin. So the White Squad gets a win. We appreciate your time and say thank you for tuning in. This has been Brian Rector on MCV TV, coming to you live all day here from the Field House at Calvin University. Thank you and have a great night, everybody.